That guy's on to something, isn't he? Because we feel like shit, and 1,500,000 other people do in Philadelphia as well. Welcome once again to Unanswered Points. We are your hosts, Brian and Doug.
Hey now.
Better known as Wood and Fresh, or Fresh and Wood, at the FreshWood Studios.
Yeah, man.
Back at the FreshWood Studios, folks. Once again, this is your fix for Brutally Honest Philly Sports Talk Radio. We will give it to you uncensored, and the handles, as you would like to call them, to get them out of the way early. I'm pressing here. Twitter, probably the numero uno one, at Unanswered PTS, Facebook.com/Unanswered PTS as well. Very easy to remember. Follow, share, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel. YouTube, search Unanswered Points and subscribe. That's actually pretty big time. But yeah, so we are kind of surprising folks. Back at the FreshWood Studios was our home for the beginning, for the infancy. We're still kind of in the infancy, but couple weeks over at the Hookah Lounge, and now we're back at the FreshWood Studios, and we love it. We're home. We like being home.
We do.
Yeah, it's a nice homey feeling.
So Luna, thank you very much for your hospitality.
Yeah, we appreciate the couple weeks we were there. We loved it. We right now Wednesdays are better for the show to record Wednesday nights here at the FreshWood Studios. It gives us 2 full weekdays, or work days, if you will, for you guys to go ahead and listen on your en route to work, from work, at work. Seems to be the target times in which we're getting feedback that we listen. Now, if there's any proof that we are home, I don't know if you heard, but my dog Hattie just gave a little roughy rough. I don't know if that actually.
Or was that me?
Did you shed your pants?
Or maybe I did.
Okay, all right.
You missed. You tried to hit a button.
I'm not used to it being so far away. Now the soundboard.
Crap.
Is that your phone or mine?
It's definitely not mine or yours.
Coof whip. It's probably mine, because Pitter's sitting there blasting the finals that are going on. Right now, the game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals are going on. And I couldn't give a fucking rat's ass, but we'll get to that. We'll talk about everything. What's basically the only thing to talk about as far as, and I don't even want to say relevancy, because that doesn't even do them justice, but right now the only thing that's really going on is those fightings. I mean, should they be removed of that moniker forever now? They should no longer ever be able to call
it's kind of a detriment, actually, that's the only thing going on, don't you think, for them?
For us.
Because everyone is completely fixated on them right now.
I'd rather be in a Taliban
nothing else
prison.
going on. Wow.
Jerka. Jihad? Is it Durka? Yeah, ruin that. So, yeah. So we got the Phillies shit in the bed, and I'm telling you, this is we lived through the late 90s in which they had fucking Ricky Otero and Tony Barron and all those bullshit players, and, Robert Person. The later days of the vet, that was shit. But that was when they were saying we are
early years.
Remember when Ed Wade said, "Look, we're not a what did he say? What the fuck was the term? We're not a big market. That's it. We're not a big market team." Well, you're in Philadelphia, but they meant not a big price team. We don't have money to spend. Now they do, and this is what they go and get. I mean, this is the worst it's ever been. Would you agree? Your lifetime, is this the worst it's ever been?
When you say the worst, this is the worst they've gone and got. What do you mean by that?
I don't mean talent. I don't mean necessarily personnel. I just mean feel. Isn't this the worst you've ever felt about a Phillies team?
No, absolutely not.
What's the worst you ever felt?
The worst I've ever felt.
Yep.
It was definitely in those late 90s where they always gave you just enough to stay interested and hopeful, and they'd always finish about 6 games out.
That was like the early 2000s. Late 90s, they were like a fucking 70-win team over and over and over again, You're talking about the Tomies time and the vet and all that. Kevin Millwood time and shit like that. That's what you're hitting on.
Kevin Millwood. I don't know. I want to see those records. I'm pretty sure there were some years there at the end where they were kind of close for a while, but
at the vet they were. Yeah,
early
2000s.
I'll tell you why this isn't the worst I've ever felt, because I didn't really go in with a lot of expectations this year. I don't know why. That's why I don't know why people get so upset right now with this team.
I'm fucking furious.
Yeah, but are you telling me that you came into this season really thinking that you had a shot at making the playoffs?
Not at all. But when you got people, because of what's been going on as far as how Ruben Amaro was supposed to put this team together, how you spend that overhead of money that you made during your World Series run, and when you were really looked up as one upper echelon teams. You were supposed to come in with a fighting chance in a terrible fucking division, and it's early fucking June, and we're talking Eagles ad nauseum right now. We're looking forward to training camp like we've never looked forward to it before. It's a joke.
I have a feeling that a lot of Philadelphia does that every year, though, regardless of what the Phillies are
We
doing.
get spoon-fed bullshit, and they expect us to swallow it. The front office. That's the whole aura around it. This is a joke. It's a disgrace. That's why I'm thinking it's the worst feeling I've ever had for a Philadelphia Philly team. It's because we are getting. It's like we're talking down to like a child, saying, "Here's what to expect." You know, we're gonna. It's all piss and vinegar. It's bullshit.
No, I just do not agree with you. I had no expectations for this team at all this year.
Yeah,
Zero.
but did you expect 70 wins? 75 wins? I mean, some might have, sure, but you still have a little bit of hope. Even if you didn't
I expected them
it.
to be at the best 500.
Yeah, but
the best.
The very first game against the Rangers when we blow a lead and everything, you're still pulling for them. You're still thinking, oh, shit, maybe there is, That's the one thing about baseball. You go in thinking nothing. They start off okay. They give you something to think about. Maybe we misread this team a little bit, and then they dick with you just enough that you buy in. And then they go, nah, we're really bad.
That's why baseball season can kind of flirt with your emotions, though, because you can always fall back on, well, there's 162 games in the year, and if they get on a run and they win 10 out of 12 or 14 out of 17, or they can win 4, 5, or 6 in a row, you'll be right back in this thing. And yeah, of course.
Yep.
But they're not going to.
What was that stat you told me earlier?
They haven't won 5 games in a row in 4 years.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
That's terrible.
That is absolutely terrible.
All right, so check it out here. So late 90s is when, because 93 was obviously the best year besides 08. That was fucking great. 94 was the strike. And then 95, everything started going downhill. They were fucking, let's see, is that the record? 69 and 75? That doesn't even add up to 162.
77, 85. That's the year I'm thinking of right there.
What's that? Yeah, 77, 85 is 99. It's 77. So here's what it is from 95 till the year 2000, okay? These are the win totals. 69, 67, 68, 75, 77, 65. That is fucking awful. And you kind of, once you eat shit for a while, you get to just understand the taste of it and deal with it. And for that's 6 years of just eating dirt, shit, piss.
Yeah, I lived through them. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and right now is a worse feeling because at least then you knew who your team was. Right now they're refusing to develop people. They're refusing to acknowledge mistakes. It's a joke.
I would say
it has to do with the whole spectrum of things.
Again, though, I just didn't go in thinking that this was a team that was going to make a run this year. So for them to be blowing saves and not really have the bullpen that we've been used to in the past, guys not hitting with runners in scoring position and defensive errors, I was expecting it going in.
Yeah,
now, I will say this. Okay. I think that it could be the worst feeling you've had for a Phillies team in a long time for a different reason. And that reason is because if it wasn't last year, now you have to face the realization as a Phillies fan that your window of opportunity with that core group of guys, Rollins and Utley and Hamels and Howard,
I think we felt that
has closed.
I think we were feeling that in 2010.
I don't think people were.
We were
still a relevant team then.
That 1-0 game against the Cardinals, man, made me say, "Holy shit! I think we're done."
Okay, 1-0 game against the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
You still had
with Halladay and Lee and Hamels. I know.
Still had the potential to win that
game.
But
that's why people think that we had not a chance, but this is why we're getting teased with this year. You still have Lee and Hamels. You got Burnett, who came off a great year. Started off fucking amazing. Of course, shit the bed, but you know what? No one's going to point fingers at him. That's the one good thing about being a shitty player on this team right now.
What's the best thing that Cliff Lee can do for us right now?
Get traded and get us something back, in my eyes.
How is he going to get traded?
Yeah, to perform well.
That's exactly right.
But he's going to be traded on name alone and recognition. I mean, Cliff Lee, he has enough of a backing throughout his career he could be 5-10 with a 4.69 ERA, and we could still get what we would if he was 10-4 with a 3 ERA. I think because Cliff Lee. Who's he going to go to? He's not going to go to a team that's meddling. He's going to go to a team that's a playoff contender.
Yes.
They're going to trade for the name Cliff Lee. We're getting Cliff Lee.
Yes, they'll trade for the name Cliff Lee, but I think with his recent pass of injury and soreness, and the disabled list might throw a red flag up. However, I think you're right. I think you are correct that he is going to end up going to a team who is going to be a competitor, or hopefully they'll give him one more starting pitcher in the rotation to put them over the hump against someone in the division they're going to be playing a lot.
That's what they think, yeah.
August or September.
Right.
That could, get them that division, get them that playoff spot. Whether it ends up being the Rays or
Tigers or
something
some
like
shit.
that.
Yeah,
That's
now,
what it's going to
we never had this in the late 90s. We didn't have a player we could talk about like this. Right now we have Howard. I mean, Howard's not going to get traded for shit. Utley's being talked about traded. Rollins, Dominic Brown last year and this year, no one will even listen to anything because he fucking sucks. Hamels, Lee, even Papelbon, if he shuts his mouth and keeps pitching like he's doing now, Mike Adams we can maybe bounce off now. In the late 90s, you're talking about Ricky Otero, Desi Relaford, Travis Lee. Our aces are a shoddy Randy Wolf. I mean, this is what we're talking about in that era. You knew, like you say, you're going in. We didn't have any expectations this year.
I had none.
No, I know that's what we're. And I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs. I didn't think we were going to come close this year. I mean, we talked about that before. But in the late '90s, the word expectations that didn't even come into anywhere near the vocabulary for what to expect from the team. There's just nothing there. So we knew. Don't even get your hopes up. Like even if they could open up the season 8-1 in 1999, don't worry about it because Travis Lee and Rico Bronya aren't going to fucking cut it.
Okay, I understand that.
Greg Jeffries and all that bullshit.
I'm just not going to agree with you on this.
No,
this is just
but
definitely.
That's why this hurts more. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I'm fucking fired up.
It doesn't hurt for me.
I know
that
everyone
much.
says a Ruben Amaro needs to get the fuck out of town this week or next week or something. Something needs to be done. And I had Ryan Sandberg's back, but I got news for you. You better step the fuck up. When your bench coach, Larry Bow, was the one talking shit, he's the one that should therefore get promoted instead of demoted because in their eyes right now they're saying it's all turmoil. Everybody up, all the owners are saying, why did Larry Bow open his mouth? You know what? Because he's the only one that fucking cares. God damn it.
I think I should peace out on the show. I'll just let you talk.
Gee, I could go, baby.
Yeah.
Go get my heart medicine.
I don't understand why we're giving you a roaring round of applause right now.
Are you one of the people that were clapping?
No.
Oh.
I would probably be booing like every other Philly fan in the goddamn world.
Is there why don't we have a boo button?
Why don't we have a boo button?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Boo.
What's this one? Ah, that's the tit fucker.
Why don't we have a boo fuck you button?
I don't know. Boo earns button? Ooh. All right.
Ooh.
Take note. All right. Let me calm down here. I wanted to bring up something that I heard this week. I want your opinion because it really kind of fired me up. Philly sports talk stations now that they try and do Eagles, of course, and we'll obviously get to that later. Not the Eagles, but a take on it. But then when it comes to Phillies talk, they're trying to spin it off and they're trying to just talk general to get some callers in and to say, look, we're still so far from football and we got to talk about the Phillies, but let's try and bounce something off. So Mike and Ike, those twerps on WIP. I like Barkan on TV. I don't like him on the radio as much. And Ike kind of rubs me the wrong way. Anyway, they spoke about, because there was some, when you get callers, I'm a Dallas fan. I live in Philly my whole life. And then they go, what the fuck? How do your parents do that to you? They suck, they dropped the ball. But I think it's very biased. What they said, both of them agreed. They said, how can you, even if you're a parent from another city, so you move from another city to Philly, they just don't understand how you can grow up in a city and not be a fan of that city's team, like those sports teams in that city. So somebody called up and said, I'm a Cowboys fan. They said, why? They said, well, my dad's from Dallas and I was born here, but my dad's a born and raised Cowboys fan and he taught me to be. And they said that's fucked up. That's incorrect. You should, whatever city you grow up in is the city you should cheer for. And then I'm thinking, I don't think so, bud.
I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I would think, I'll tell you why I am as much of a Flyers fan as I am. It's because I can remember since my first memory watching Flyers games with my father in the recliner in the living room.
I think a lot of people are like that.
And him yelling and screaming at the TV. And the same thing with Eagles games. Same things with Phillies games in the summertime. And, I mean, don't we all hold our fathers to, a higher level, a role model in our lives?
Sure, monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. We're going to do the same things that we see other important male individuals in our life do. You know, we want to be like our dads when we're little. You know, that's all we want. Of course, we're going to grow up and be whatever type of a fan that they are, and he has a legitimate reason why he's a Cowboys fan. And I hate the Dallas Cowboys,
right, but I mean,
if you grow up in Dallas, that's that.
If I move to Dallas for work and I got to live in Dallas the rest of my life or whatever,
You're not a Cowboys fan.
No, nor my kids.
Absolutely.
Nor
not.
their kids.
That's right.
That's the way it should be. So I think that they would. I think that they were totally off point, and I think that they're actually biased too. Because if what we just said there, they would be like, "Oh yeah, definitely." You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, there, chieftains. I just think that I heard that and that kind of set me off. Why would you say something like that? It just doesn't make any sense. But that's one of the things that's so awesome about sports. You know.
Well, I also heard something this week that I wanted to bring up. It was correct. I did hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know if you've heard this yet or not, okay?
Okay.
Because I thought this was a neat little tidbit, neat little information.
All right.
Okay. The Mets came into town recently.
Yeah, for a weird 5-gamer.
A very weird 5-gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first round of playoffs 5-game weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Strange. Okay, Phillies lost 4 out of 5. We're all aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of extra inning games. That was nuts, wasn't it?
It was weird, dude. 2 straight 14ers and then an 11.
God.
That was crazy.
So anyway, it has nothing to do with what I'm saying. But were you in the know that there is a Phillies cheesesteak leaderboard in the visiting locker room at Citizens Bank Park? This has been going on for a while, apparently.
What?
Just listen to this.
I did hear that some Mets ate a cheesesteak somewhere,
Wait,
but I
but
don't know.
you didn't get the full gist of this.
Not at all.
The visiting clubhouse in Citizens Bank Park, for all the visiting team comes in, okay, plays the Phillies. There is a leaderboard up in there from all the visiting teams.
You kidding me?
So when the Rockies come into town, when the Mets come into town,
Put up by whom? The
put-
Phillies?
put up by the Phillies.
Okay.
Just listen to this, okay?
That's just dumb.
The visiting teams come in. They all compete against each other for personal records and team records to see how many cheesesteaks they can consume while they're here.
What a smart marketing idea by the city of Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Get more currency in this biz.
So wait. You are allowed to consume before batting practice, after batting practice,
Oh, I see what they're doing here.
before the game,
And they still lose this much?
and they still allow you to eat again 1 hour after the game.
What do you mean allow? Like
There are rules and regulations
unspoken,
to
but
this contest.
very, very. Okay.
I have no idea who controls this, but there's got to be some type of representative or fucking cheesesteak referee. Okay.
So please tell me you have
umpire.
stats.
Okay. The New York Mets set a team record
Fat pigs.
this past weekend. Do you know how many cheesesteaks they consumed in the duration that they were here?
All right, so this is the team of, I mean, what's on a baseball team? Roughly 20-some, I guess, after all said and done? 29 players.
remember-
Oh, and the staff? Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
These are the players.
Yeah, okay, players only.
Players only. As far as
Before and after
as
practice.
I've been privy to for the knowledge.
Right.
Okay? Remember, there's only a certain amount of times you're allowed to eat.
Right.
Before and after batting practice.
Batting practice.
Before the game,
Before-
and
and
an
then-
hour after the game. They allow you to eat after the game for 1 hour.
So you don't have to go to the establishment.
They bring them to you.
Right, okay.
They bring the cheesesteaks to
How
you.
do I
in the
sign up
locker
for
room.
that?
I know.
Jeez.
I don't know.
So so you're talking total for the 5-game series. How many cheesesteaks were eaten?
In that time span, yeah, that
Is it-
you are allowed to.
And it can be from any like cheesesteak place. Is it Pat's
I
Geno's
don't- I don't
specifically?
know.
Because that would be.
I don't know.
If there isn't, the Phillies front office better get on that because you can get an exclusivity deal there, chieftains.
Anyway, number. What do you think it was? They set the record.
All right, I'll say, and you know what? My wife always asks me stuff like this, and she's saying it so that I'll say something low, and she'll be like, "No, it's that. Like, guess how much I paid for this?"
Well,
and I'll be
I'm
like,
not gonna talk like this,
$65, and she'll be like, "No, asshole."
Are you buying time to think of your number?
No, I'm going to say 211.
You're way high.
Really?
Yes.
See, I always do that shit. How much?
First of all, think about how you feel after you eat one cheesesteak.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you eat one,
How many? Let me ask you this question: how many cheesesteaks could you, as a single person, eat in an hour span?
well, I mean, if we're doing like competitive eating, or
It's a sausage
I mean,
competition.
when I'm hungry and then I'm not hungry, I stop eating. It would probably take me a Pats and a half to fully complete my hunger. But as far as how many could I eat in an hour, I would say 3.
Okay. Well, the record that they set was 103.
Wow, 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 wow.
All right, that's but I mean that is a shit ton of fucking
And
cheesesteaks.
Look, again, I have no idea how big these cheesesteaks are. I don't know what's on them.
I'm assuming they're
I don't
just
know
like
if it's
what we
with
get.
or without. All right, I have
And
no
those
idea.
idiots are probably getting fucking pastrami and
But-
Jewish rye.
I got news for you. I thought that was really great sportsmanship between the Phillies, the city of Philadelphia, and visiting teams. You know, I think it's really neat to hear about those type of things with the heritage of Philadelphia and our history. Of course, we're known for cheesesteaks and we're known for pretzels. You know, and the Liberty Bell and water ice.
Ben Frank.
Okay.
Look, don't get it twisted. The reason why they're doing it is to bring more fucking money
Well, they're doing it to
and to
bring
get
money.
a deal with the cheesesteak place. Because I
And-
guarantee you there's some cheesesteak place in place.
And
for
I
that.
got to tell you, there's one other thing that they're doing it for. Whether I think they go into it willingly knowing.
Oh,
this.
absolutely. Feel like shit and play our game.
Yeah, I don't know how well you're going to be running the bases when you got about 3 or 4 cheesesteaks in your stomach.
Doesn't matter when you're playing the fucking shitty Phils. You know what? I wonder how many actually ate before batting practice. Do you think any?
I have
I
no
mean,
idea.
before the game. I mean, even batting. I mean, so don't you think the majority of these would have been out of the 103? I gotta say, like 90 or 8 after the game.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
They apparently have some backup catchers
They
that
gotta release that.
have some hefty appetites.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure if Todd Pratt was still on that team, they would have set a new record. Todd Pratt says,
Well, fuck you.
"I love you, Toddy Pratt." All right. So
Anyway, moving on.
yeah. Well, moving on to more Phillies talk, or not? Apparently, is it time?
Is it?
Is it already? I don't know what happened.
It's early.
Do you have another point for the Phillies?
I don't know.
Well, we got to take care of it. It happened. So right now, that means it's time for mandatory WNBA talk. Would you like to talk about the WNBA this week?
Well, that was called the option.
Yeah, what did I say?
It's not called mandatory WNBA talk.
Oh, that's what
'Cause
they
I'm-
call it, those idiots.
it's
mandatory
mandatory that-
Eagles talk.
Yes.
The Met, as you call it.
That's a violation. I will continue till I die to say that's a violation.
Optional WNBA talk. Yeah, see? This thing sucks. Do you got more points about the Phillies? I see something's on your mind. Didn't you have a couple things you said you wanted to
Heard
talk
the
about?
alarm go off, and now you have to ask me.
I can edit now that we're here, I'm not
No,
going to.
no, we're gonna keep going.
Because I am not taking any more time on this than I have to. Did you have anything else to say about the Phillies? Do
We'll
you have more
eventually
points?
get back to some Phillies banter.
I'm sure we will. Well, next then, if you wouldn't mind, we will go to our segment called On the Clock, which is sweeping the nation. You now this week
You
on
have
the
still
Clock.
not asked me the option.
I just did. Would you like to talk about the WNBA this week?
See, you did not. That is the first time you were asking me. The answer is no.
Second time. But I said that's correct. But I said it already once. But I said mandatory WNBA talk.
I
so
think we are going to edit this out.
I don't have the patience. And you don't know how to work the machine. It's a machine. Am I like a grandmother? That's what we'll do. Let's just keep hitting buttons until
I don't know.
I didn't yet.
How many beers have you had? 'Cause once,
3.
Once you have a few more, we know what you're going to be like over here.
I don't know if you know, but I behaved myself. I was going to start wanting to find spirits in my basement here. You know what? I will. I'm gonna. Can you hand me that Hun Turk?
So much for behaving
Can
yourself.
you hand me that Hun Turk?
Where's my Hun Turk, by the way?
It's coming. All right.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
having it specially brewed.
It's only been
I don't know.
4 months.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Good things come to those who wait, my friend. Okay.
That's just dumb.
Now, while I'm pouring this beautiful honey Turk, I notice I only have one shot glass in front of me. Is that the way it's going to be?
No, it's not the way it's going to be.
All right. And last 2 weeks I've had On the Clock, but this week you're going to draw On the Clock. And what we do here is every week we take a particular position or personnel, and we ask how you would position them, if you will, in another position in sports. Please save me. I need a drink.
All right. Well, that is correct. However,
Wow.
we're going to make a little bit of a spinny thing on this week's On the Clock. All right.
Just say it like that.
I don't know.
That's my favorite.
All right. Follow me here.
Follow me.
Like I said, we got twist this week.
Which I'm not privy to, so.
This is not necessarily a draft.
Okay.
However, you must select one of the other fine,
Young cannibals. Sorry.
not what I was going to say.
Damn it.
Done.
Now you get the hit buttons here at the FreshWood Studios.
You must select one of the other sport venues that
I like where this is
exists
going to.
in another city and transplant it to Philadelphia to substitute for a current sports venue. So you must either get rid of the Link, Citizens Bank Park, or the Wells Fargo Center.
Right.
And you must substitute it.
Or PPL Park. No, sorry, I'm just kidding.
We are not going to talk about soccer on this show.
Never.
I am really sorry for the 0.5 listeners who tuned in to listen to some union
Hey,
talk.
0.5 listeners is like 33% of our audience.
That is correct.
That is a great question. And you know what's funny? I have it? Well, no, I don't. I have a.
Would you like to come back to it?
Let me start it and then I'll come back to it. Now, here's the thing. My favorite
You
venue.
can't have it both ways.
I try.
You
know?
are burping a lot.
That was like 3. You know?
Playoffs.
Not the right button. So yeah, I start one shot of Hun Turk, and I'm going crazy on the board again. Immediately, what came to mind is my favorite stadium, and baseball stadiums have an aura about them that are different from anything else than football or it's America's
So
pastime.
you're automatically getting rid of Citizens Bank Park.
No, but here's the thing. I love Citizens Bank Park that much. My favorite stadium in sports is, and I fucking hate your fans, you asshole city,
You might be the same as what I'm going to say.
is PNC Park in Pittsburgh. I love it.
Wow.
Yep. Love
Not
it.
the same.
Never been there, but I know I would love it. But that's my favorite. But the thing is, I think I would rather get rid of the Wells Fargo because I like the old school. I like the Spectrum's my favorite venue of all
Because
time.
you're on top of it.
You're on top of it. So I would probably replace the Wells Fargo Center with the loudest or one of the loudest arenas in hockey, which most have said to be the HP Pavilion, a.k.a. the Shark Tank.
Okay.
Now, the Shark Tank doesn't look better. Inside it doesn't have suite levels necessarily, but I loved the old school Spectrum. I love the Vet. I love shit like that. I wouldn't go as far as saying I'll take Nassau Coliseum, that shithole. I've been in that in Long Island. That thing's junk. But something like the Joe Louis Arena or Shark Tank, something old that's in a hockey atmosphere like that, especially that really helps your team feed off of those fans. You know what I mean? But my favorite stadium, yes, is PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Second would probably actually be the San Francisco Giants Stadium. I just love those two ballparks. But
Covey
the thing,
Cove.
yeah. But the thing is, Citizens Bank Park is amazing as well. It's probably like the 4th or 5th best park. So I wouldn't want to sacrifice that just to move up a couple when I think Wells Fargo, you need it to be fucking Eastern Conference Finals for that place to be where I think it should be during a regular season game.
Listen,
to be honest with
I
you.
hated Barry Bonds like the rest of us.
Yeah, but it was cool as fuck to see that shit.
No, it wasn't. But when he was playing at home,
That's what I'm talking about, to see all those people jump off their...
to see, yes, all those people in their kayaks and their canoes or their driftwood or whatever the hell they were floating on out there.
Driftwood Studios.
Driftwood Studios.
It was-
Coming to you live from Driftwood Studios. To watch all those fucking queefs
Yep.
jump like they were saving the world to get a baseball.
As well. Hey, number 69. Number 71. Ah.
Oh my god!
I wish one of them would go.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
under.
Continue with what you were saying.
No, that's it. I mean, I can't. It would definitely be the basketball hockey hybrid. I would get rid of the Wells Fargo Center.
Mm-hmm.
Also, which is it's kind of weird when you're talking to us, who's I'm 32, you're 29.
Mm-hmm.
The Wells Fargo Center is the oldest out of the. It's the oldest establishment that It's so crazy to say that.
It is.
I was at the Flyers Panthers first game there. Dana Subers, first ever Flyers to score a goal there. So yeah, I would say that I would get rid of the Wells Fargo Center, and I would import the HP Pavilion,
Okay.
Shark Tank.
I have to tell you before we move on that my favorite stadium in all of sports, and I also hate these fans with an extreme passion, is Fenway Park.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I love the Big Green Monster.
You gotta love it.
I think, and it's not so much. Obviously, there's history at that park.
Sure.
Okay, but it wouldn't be that for the history.
Right.
It would just be because of just the way that park's laid out.
unique.
It is so unique. There's nothing like it anywhere else in all of baseball and in all of sports. I think it's. I've never been there, but I would love to see a Phillies Red Sox game up there.
You know, when it comes to
even a Red Sox Yankees game,
I was going to say, when it comes to places like that, dude, a Red Sox Angels game. I would love to go to Fenway and see a game. I'd love to go to Wrigley and see a game. I was in Chicago.
I love Citizens Bank Park.
Love it.
Me and you.
Oh, we own that center field, baby.
Me and you stood for an entire game.
Stood
in Ashburn Alley.
Imagine doing that at the vet, just standing there
for the entire game. And I got to tell you, it's one of the absolute most favorite Phillies memories I'll ever have at that park. Just sitting there and heckling the shit out of Cody Ross the whole game. But you could see from that vantage point everything.
Yep.
You know, you could see right where the camera was. That's actually where the camera is.
Yeah, right above us.
Yeah, right above us.
Right above that clock.
Zoomed in on the pitch that you're seeing live on television at home.
Yep.
You know, I thought that was a great vantage point. I love that part of Citizens Bank Park. I think that the way they are able, the seating arrangements there, I really enjoy. I love the restaurants there, and there's lots of ample room to walk around and interact with different bars and
drunks
everything
and,
there.
Yeah.
Not that you can't find it anywhere else, but
no.
I also like how it's open.
Look, it's a step up from what we grew up with, you know. But but I'll tell you what, you know, I'm an old school fogey, dude. I miss the vet, you know. I miss the Spectrum. I do miss the vet. I do, but not over Citizens Bank Park. Like, I wish they could play fucking 41 games here and 41 games there, or whatever the hell it breaks down. You know what I mean? But overall, Citizens Bank Park, I mean, her and I were even talking, hey, it's kind of cool that the Phillies suck now, because we can just pick up and leave at 5:30 when we both get home from work and go, you know what, let's just go to the Phillies game. Let's get tickets there, standing room only. You know, we'll go sit in the first level. My favorite seats ever are the first row of an upper deck, whether it's inside of Wells Fargo on a mezzanine or, you know, I just love first row upper deck. You're basically rolling your own roost. So you could just do that on the fly now. That's one of the good things, probably the only good thing about the team blowing ass. But the Citizens Bank Park, man, it's tremendous. It's definitely, I think, top 5 in the majors, and that's why I wouldn't put my favorite over that. And you know what? Let me get to PNC Park. Maybe I'll get there and be like, you see a bunch of yellow bridges. Fuck Roberto Clemente. You know what I mean? So, it's what it is. But what about the Eagles? Like, I mean, I missed the vet more for the Eagles than the Phillies. I mean, the vet for an Eagles game was awesome. The vet or the link, I mean, now they're actually adding seats in the corners where they were getting a lot of wind blown in. I think it's going to add maybe a few thousand total. And I like that because it's going to make it more audible and more loud in there. But the reason they're doing it is because that money talks, motherfucker.
Yes.
They're trying to get a Super Bowl, and it's never going to happen. So, that's that.
That's that.
What's your favorite football stadium?
Oh, man.
When I was in Chicago, I went by the new Soldier Field. You know how that place looks like a spaceship. It's crazy. But I heard that Chicago is one of the worst places to watch a game because the seats are like, you know, 1920s Montreal Forum.
Bleachers.
You're just no. I mean, as far as, you know, you're so scrunched.
You're talking about arm room.
You can't. Yeah, you can't even, you know, move.
I think. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, me too. To be honest with you, I mean, I think out of the 4 major sports, I think football probably falls third as far as. I guess it's technically second. I'm just being a hockey purist, but third as far as in my book, how important the aura of your stadium is. Not necessarily the loudness and your fans and everything. I just mean, like, you know, people respect and love the old school baseball stadiums. You know what I mean? Like Fenway and Wrigley. You can't ever get rid of them.
Nope.
Even the Yankee Stadium, sure, they built a new one,
like
but they
monuments.
They just completely
Lambeau
reenacted
Field,
it.
Lambeau Field would probably be up there.
Lambeau,
Arrowhead
right.
Stadium
Arrowhead.
would probably be up there. Candlestick Park.
Well, they're done with that.
I know, but that's.
It's going to be weird seeing them not playing in Candlestick.
Yes, you know those
Arrowhead's a good call though. That's loud as fuck. That place.
Those are 3 that come to my mind.
And now fatter
immediately. You know, you think of the Superdome in New Orleans.
Rape Center.
Is it a rape center?
I think so.
WCF, mates.
2 for 1.
Oh, what's that mean? Sounds good. I'll take it.
2 rapes for 1.
Oh, is that what we got in New Orleans?
I don't know. You tell me. You said it was a rape center.
I don't know.
You're talking to me?
I like how he just bailed on that all of a sudden.
Yeah. I don't even know. All right. Next on the docket.
Docket? Are we in the courtroom?
A this or that.
Jesus
and
Christ.
if you would look at example A or evidence A here, this or that is basically a this or that. Once again, I did not get the black sheep soundbite.
Basically,
but
this or that.
I'm just
You are
explaining it.
so good at explaining things.
I'm telling you, I'm just laying it out for them. They don't know it by now. All right, the 4 people. Hi, Jar. So basically, what I'm going to ask you is you have to pick something. Now, this just came to me. I actually had Fresh and I went to a bar, basically literally in my backyard almost. Had a drink, tried to talk over at least the skeletons of the show here, and this was not what I originally thought I was going to. This just kind of came to me, so I'm curious. Now, there were 2 trades that I think directly impacted us winning a championship for each respective team that's coming up here, okay?
Okay.
I want to know which trade you would go back and halt, okay? The first is, what trade would you rather halt? The trade in which, remember we signed or we traded for Roy Halladay, and we traded Kyle Drabek and a bunch of scrubs, and we immediately went, this is Ruben, by the way, that fuck. He goes, well, I got to replenish this farm system. Now we don't got Kyle Drabek and some scrubby catcher. And he goes ahead and trades Cliff Lee for Philippe Aumont, a bag of fucking sandwiches, and a Nintendo Entertainment System. All right? So, now I think that was huge. Or would you rather halt, and you might think this is weird, but hang with me here, the Eric Lindros trade, in which we traded Eric Lindros, or we traded for Eric Lindros, and we traded Peter Forsberg, eventually, who arguably had a better career than Eric Lindros, and, I mean, he did have a better career than 2 fucking cups. Ronnie Hextall, Mike Ricci, Kerry Huffman, I know those names aren't really as big, a bunch of money, but it kind of handcuffed us for what we could do in the future, so that we needed, to pull rabbits out of a hat, like a trade in which we traded Mark Recchi. Now, when we traded Mark Recchi to the Canadians for John Leclerc, Eric Desjardins, and Marcel Dion, John Leclerc was actually 3rd on that totem pole. We traded for Eric Desjardins, basically, straight up with Mark Recchi. Marcel Dion was supposed to be the next, fill-in player. And John Leclerc was just player to be named later. He turned out to be arguably a favorite Flyer of almost every Flyers fan in the mid-'90s, late '90s. So, but do you think maybe, sure, that got us to 1 Cup Finals. We got our ass swept right out of there. Which one do you think you could halt if you wanted to? Would you halt the Cliff Lee trade? Or would you halt the Eric Lindros trade? Because I know you're a Flyers guy like me too, and I know that's kind of a backhand smack. But I think if we didn't trade didn't trade for Eric Lindros, I think we might have won a cup at least. Your thoughts, Steve Mix?
I don't agree with you about the cup if we didn't trade for Eric Lindros. I believe Eric Lindros, who was a Hart Trophy winner, was
95.
surrounded with enough talent. Legion of fucking Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I broke that up too early.
I understand that they didn't have elite goaltending, but they had solid goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
So I never want to hear that. In the Lindros years,
absolutely. That wasn't. Yeah.
Lindros had Hextall,
Gar Snow.
Van Beesbrook. Well, Gar Snow was.
Well, I'm talking about for that playoff run where we made the finals. Yeah, Beezer.
Not bad.
No, I was the biggest John. I actually rooted for the Rangers in '94 because I was a big Beezer fan,
And
even though he wasn't starting.
I really think that you surrounded him with enough talent that, guess what? When you can make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, you're playing the Red Wings, and you don't win 1 fucking game, that's on the team.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and that's why Terry Murray got the boot.
And that was horrible. That was the first real finals that I could experience as a knowledgeable sports fan that I can actually remember. I vaguely remember the '93 Phillies. I mean, at that point, I was 9 years old.
I remember them like the back of my hand. I'll tell you their starting lineup right now, baby.
But I can.
No, I'm not saying like that.
You can do it better than me, I'm sure. But that '97 run with the Flyers and the Red Wings, I remember watching every single game with my father. You remember? It's also weird about that season. If I'm not mistaken, that was the season Fox carried the
the Pucks.
NHL hockey games and the Fox track.
Fox Trek.
It would be blue when it was going under a certain miles per hour, and then they would shoot
Over.
it. And
Yep.
It would be
Over 90, I think it was.
A red, like a fireball. Who the fuck cares? Are you serious?
Well,
That was so dumb.
that's the Fox was a
They're
gimmick
watching a
company.
video
back then.
game, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what Fox was back then. They were a gimmick company. But you know what did good? The good that did come out of that was the fucking Fox robots. They were tits.
No.
Yes, get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Fox robots were awesome coming in and out of commercials.
They still do that on NFL. They have the Fox robots.
Because it works.
No.
Get out.
You're telling me I watched the goddamn football game because I want to see a robot?
I'm not saying people go, I got to go watch the robots.
That's exactly what you just said.
No, I'm saying they were cool. They gave it it was a good graphic package to put to it.
Get a doctor, Mr. Roboto
Get a doctor here.
soundbite here, okay? You're in love with robots that much.
Okay, I'm not in love with robots. I only think certain are sexy.
Wow, the S word came into play there.
The
Now they're
S word.
sexy?
This is a brutally honest, uncensored sports talk.
Sexy
And
robots.
sexy is the S word. You watch your mouth.
Shut your mouth when you're talking.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I
you know?
would, to answer your question, I would have halted the Cliff Lee deal.
Now, what I want to know your projection from that. What do you think would have eventually unfolded? Does Jason Worth stay, or I mean, your boy Shane, does he stay and win a couple more? Do we win one with the possible 4 We could have the 4 aces a year before, 2 years before.
I can't go back and tell you that. Yeah, we definitely would have. Nobody can.
I know. I'm just saying,
But
for the fucking sake of the
I-
bit.
Jason, to be honest with you, I don't think Jason Worth stays no matter what.
Not if you got thrown that contract.
I think that's exactly what it was. I tell everybody to this day, Jason Worth got his World Series ring, and at that point he said, "Okay, my career is complete. All I've ever dreamed about, being a little kid playing Little League Baseball, is winning a World Series championship." So now he got it, and
can't blame him.
timing just worked out for him perfectly.
Yep.
So then he has his ring, and he waves to all of us in Philadelphia, "Bye, motherfuckers! I'm taking the money."
Well, it's at the 09. He got his.
Well,
he got a ring,
yes,
and then he
yes,
got a
yes.
champion. You know, you ever see those the league rings when you win a pennant? They're not too shabby. They're little cute little rings there.
But you know what I'm saying, though, correct?
Big time. It happened perfect. It was a
didn't-
perfect evolution for his career. Now, when people go, don't you think you should trade Utley or Rollins now? You know, don't you think they want to go and win another championship? And I'm like, you know what? If you win one, I know you like. I'm a competitor in a softball league. All I want to do is fucking win. That's all I want to do. In life, all I want to do is win. I'm a very competitive person by nature. But if you win a championship, you get a ring. Like that's your stamp on that sport. 40 million years after you die.
It's not even so much a stamp on your sport, because I'll give you an example. Okay, I believe it's more of a stamp on that city
Oh, definitely.
than it is in that sport, because when you said how many years after you die, 40 million.
Roughly, give or take.
Okay, how many people are in 50 years are you gonna are gonna remember Trent Dilfer winning a Super Bowl ring?
The Stephen Dilfer will.
Okay, exactly.
The great uncle of Trent Dilfer.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I understand.
But everyone in Baltimore will remember Trent Dilfer for winning that ring for that city.
See, I don't know. I think as many people in Baltimore at that time will be the same. It's Trent
No,
Dilfer.
I don't.
No,
'Cause
you need to win more. Like you need to be like a you need to be a Babe Ruth or an Oscar Robinson or a Robert Ory.
I think you're a
Robert Ory.
you become a hero in any city to that city when you bring them a championship.
Oh, good for you.
Definitely here when you're just starved for one.
Yes, definitely here. Well, definitely, especially for the '08 Phillies, just like you said, when you're starved, people will always
ultimate
remember that lineup because you waited so long, and that team, they finally gave you the ecstasy and the joy of finally
Let's do it right now.
breaking the streak.
Let's do it right now. The lineup. Just starting pitcher. Who's the ace of that team? I guess Cole Hamels.
Cole
technically.
Hamels, who won the World Series MVP.
Who's the catcher?
Carlos Ruiz,
First base.
Howard,
Yep. Second base.
Utley,
Short.
Rollins,
Third.
Pedro Feliz,
Nice. Center.
Shane Victorino,
Yep. Right.
Jason Worth.
Left.
was. Why am I?
I
Drawing a
left
blank
that.
right now?
I left that for last. I just figure you might not.
Why am I drawing a blank right now? Don't wait.
Okay.
This is killing me.
I'll give you a hint.
No, don't give me a hint.
Okay.
Oh, Pepperell.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yep. Or Jeff Jenkins, depending on.
No.
Yeah,
But
pat
can
the
you
back,
name me
baby.
3 bench players?
Jeff Jenkins. Ready for this? So Taguchi.
So Taguchi is correct. Not what I would have went with though.
So Taguchi and
You are killing me with not naming somebody.
no, I'm
right
trying
now.
to think of backup catcher. Was Prater a backup catcher for that? No, he wasn't.
I think it was Coast. Chris Coast.
Yeah, Chris Coast. My
You're
boy.
still missing 2 huge bench players. Huge.
Ricky Jordan.
Biggest home run maybe.
Oh yeah, Matt Stairs. Big
And
time.
best pinch hitter.
Trent Dilfer.
Greg Dobbs.
Oh, I know. I was and Bruntlett.
Eric Bruntlett.
Yeah,
Yep.
he scored.
Unassisted triple
I was
play.
against those mandatory Eagles talks.
Oh, fuck them.
Hey, you cutie pie! Little doggy jumping up and biting your hand because she knows what's up. The next we're introducing a new segment now. It's called Fuck, Marry, Kill. Oh no, wait, it's called Release, Resign, Trade. Now it's a little bit of a we like to just kind of fend off from other, and we like to cheat. Right? We're not smart. We're just going to take something, alter it to what we think is acceptable and fun. All right? What do you think?
I'm just listening to you talk.
Yeah, I do that too.
What kind of shit is that?
So this is called Release, Resign, Trade. It's just like Fuck, Marry, Kill. You know, you talk about 3 broad, 3 dudes, depending on your sex or your gayness, and you go ahead and you say,
sound like a gay.
you say, is that the one you want to hit?
No.
You say,
Keep
I
going.
saw you reaching.
Keep going.
You say who you have to put one person in one of the aspects: release, resign, or trade.
WCF, mates.
So, being that this is a Phillies-centric podcast, I want to just go forth. Now, when we say resign, you would have to extend them, okay? I want to go with the big 3. The big 3 that everyone associates with the Phillies: release, resign, or trade. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins. Floor is yours. Would you like a minute?
No.
You know it.
I'm good with this.
Let me ask it one by one here.
Okay.
Who would you release?
Jimmy Rollins.
Okay, so now here's the thing about releasing. You're basically saying, really?
Yeah.
You're basically saying, I think you're the most worthless out of the 3.
Absolutely.
Right now, as far as trade value or anything.
As far as
Because obviously you hold him for trade if you think he's more of trade value.
present talent is concerned, yes.
All right, that's interesting. So Jimmy Rollins is released. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Who would you re-sign and extend? You have to extend one of them.
Chase Utley.
Okay. Probably makes sense, especially with the Urus having. Probably be my re-sign, too. I think I would flip these 2, though. Trade, you think you could get more for Ryan Howard with his contract right now than Jimmy Rollins?
Well, are we actually putting
Oh, yeah.
something into this? Or are we just speaking in a perfect world where I could just trade
No,
Ryan Howard?
well, no, because if you're re-signing somebody that already had, like Ryan Howard's 3 more years after this, you would have to extend them technically to re-sign him. You know what I mean?
I believe for reasons that we talked about on last week's show,
Okay.
that Ryan Howard has more trade value for an American League team.
Oh, okay. Yep,
Do
because you were
understand
hinting
that?
about the DH.
The DH.
Yep.
That's correct. I believe that,
What don't you fucking understand?
yes, Ryan Howard has a hell of a contract that you'd have to take on as a team. But if I am the Phillies and I can trade him to an American League team and unfortunately have to eat some of his contract, but I'm getting something back for him, I think he has more value to an American League team who will extend his career as a designated hitter.
And it makes sense for your reasoning because of no American team is going to trade for Jimmy Rollins to be a DH.
No.
Right. That makes sense. Good roundabout. I would still switch Rollins and
Understood.
Howard myself. I
But
just
you would
think
definitely re-sign Chase Utley.
out of the 3, absolutely. I
Yes.
mean, what he has, all he's done is prove it this year. I know all 3 of them actually aren't having terrible years. It's
No.
not like what the fuck kind of years, but
It's amazing to think that if I would have given you just those 3 and their numbers so far at this exact date, would you think that the Phillies would be exactly where they're at? Because this year going into the Phillies, like we hinted at earlier,
Yep.
was all, well, what if this and what if that, and they need this to happen right, and they need that to happen right. Well, these three things all happened right. Those are like the three major things they needed to have happen to have a successful season.
Yep.
To have success this year. And they're not doing that poorly. But yet the team's record is still just shitty.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with the just utter demolishment of any expectations for anybody around them.
Yes.
I mean, it's so pathetic. And yet they Darren Ruff comes up and like hits a couple home runs, looks pretty solid, and they just refuse to keep him up. They won't bring Maikel Franco up because, look, his position isn't open. Get rid of the positions where he would play. And here's the thing. They got him at third. You know, look, I love you, Chase, and all, but why did we re-sign him? I know he's having a great year. We need Franco to come up and play second now. Ashley has to play third when he gets back and healthy every day. Ruff has to play first every day. We got to get J.P. Crawford up, play shortstop every day.
Ben Revere isn't an everyday player. He's a platoon guy. Okay? Dominic Brown, yeah, you know what? We were all on board last year. You know?
Figure it the fuck out.
When he came out and it was just
get the
putting
fuck
up
out of my
all-star
city.
numbers, and now he's doing nothing. And then you got the bullpen and the pitching. It's just, I mean, that's what it pretty much comes down to.
I think we're showing some of our cards here. We do have the 3 coming up. And the 3 is our take on just a top 3 list for, matter of speaking. But it's a different swing on the top 3, just like every fucking thing we do. Do you want to explain the 3 real quick? Because I suck at explaining everything, remember?
The 3?
Yeah. Did I do a good job?
It really depends on the subject matter, but it's
That's true.
Pretty much exactly as you described it. Our top 3, most this, most that, most whatever.
And what's
whatever
this week?
The topic is. Top 3 this week, or the 3 this week will be...
Top 3 delicious can of beer openings. That's pretty good, actually.
Where is it?
What one?
I'm looking for it.
What? The Bing?
There's such a delay here.
Done.
You got to learn about that.
I do.
Soundboard there, Chief.
Anyway, do that one more time. The top 3 what?
I can't open it again.
You could make a sound.
Done.
That was horrible.
You try.
I fire myself.
The top 3 what? Your turn.
It's going to be...
No. Dude, your turn for the opening.
go ahead.
Okay, top 3. Our judges did not agree.
We have judges.
No, it's computer technology.
Top 3 this week is going to be top 3 positions the Phillies most need to add depth to or improve upon.
Now, the thing about this is it's like a Lay's potato chip. Can't eat just one, pal.
No.
You got to narrow it. It's like picking your favorite kids. You have 10 kids. Put your favorite 3 in a row.
I will never have 10
Or
kids.
your least, probably least.
I might never have 1 kid.
There you go. Well, if you have 10, this world is fucked. If you have 1, not so much. You know?
What if they're all little freshes and they all have spiked hair like me?
Get the fuck out.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't even tell you guys to get the fuck out. I would just piece myself out. You know what I mean? I would just drop
Anyway.
down.
Can we start at your third, please?
My number 3. We're starting with me.
Yeah, we're starting with you.
I would now center field, left field, right field, bling 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 bling. They're all outfield.
Bling bling.
Lil Wayne. I would start that's my number 3 is the outfield, particularly center field. You need Ben Revere's arm is a little eagers, and we need defense. We're dropping balls and misreading balls and no communication left and right. I mean, so for me personally, and we discussed what would incorporate a
lot of
balls.
Ball talk there.
Yeah, right.
You sound like a gay.
So I would say the outfield is my number 3.
Number 3 for me, shortstop.
I disagree. I think that's actually one of the least.
No, absolutely not. Jimmy has made it very clear that he is...
It has nothing to do with Jimmy Rollins.
Okay. What does it have to do with?
First round last year, we drafted J.P. Crawford,
Okay.
who's basically Jimmy Rollins version 2, who's been doing pretty well.
Okay.
As far as, the question was about depth and improvement, I think in a year or 2 he's ready. and Jimmy Rollins is here for a year or two more. If he doesn't get traded this year. If he gets traded this year, I don't know what the fuck Ruben's going to come up with. But as far as depth and improvement, I mean, he's not going to improve on Jimmy Rollins right away. He's an MVP kind of guy. But right now he might. It'll be a fun, possibly franchise player for the next 10, 12 years.
Wow, you're giving him a lot of credit.
We don't have anybody else I can say that about, you know?
That's exactly
That's
why
what
shortstop
all this is-
would be my number 3.
But that's how bad it is. Shortstop
Right.
for me is like bottom because we have one little geek who's hitting 300 for a year. And I think that means everything.
Okay.
Because that's how bad our farm system is.
I feel as if you can go out and find center fielders, left fielders, right fielders.
You can trade.
in free agency,
yeah,
though.
yeah, absolutely.
As far as depth is concerned, though, I would rather have 1 or 2 or 3 guys in our system somewhere that we could possibly plug in at shortstop. Because replacing Jimmy Rollins, even though I don't like the guy as a person.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Mostly because he needed to be reprimanded more than once for not legging out a ground ball.
Agreed.
Could not stand that about him.
Agreed.
And that just left a sour taste in my mouth forever.
Jimmy Rollins 1.0 I love. Jimmy Rollins 2.0, which is after the championship, I can't fucking stand.
Yep.
You know, he was the one that guaranteed us winning that
I was just
division.
gonna say you gotta talk about the guarantee.
You know damn well every game that year he fucking ran his ass off, especially against the Mets, the folks that he guaranteed against. Now he's a pussy. He is what you said earlier. He is the one ringer, and I'm good. Give me my paycheck now, and I'll walk right out this door in 3 years.
And it's almost like he wants to shove it to us now. Wants to get that record, and then just go.
It kind of always seemed like he was shoving it to us. You know, when he was on the
Yeah.
Best Damn Sports Show saying Philly fans, they're front runners.
Front runners. Yeah.
You know, and that was
another
before we
thing
won.
that
That
was-
was before we won a World Series, and it's
Yeah.
like, I think he's always given I think he's a West Coast guy. He's from Oakland. I just think he always gives a fuck you to us in the back of his mind. Look, I know he loved to win it here. Anybody would love to win a championship wherever the fuck they're at. But I think he is up top in the noggin, the guy who set sail in fucking November 1st of 2008.
And that's another reason I never got why he didn't go back to L.A.
Me too.
Or Oakland.
Me
or
too.
Anaheim.
Every trade deadline, I think, trade him to the Dodgers.
I thought the same thing with Cole too when he was up for renegotiation.
And Utley last year.
Not so much Utley. I think Utley.
UCLA guy.
I don't know. I think Utley has, and same with Howard to an extent. I feel like they almost feel like to themselves they have like an allegiance to the city, you know.
Utley definitely.
I think that they're emotionally invested into the city just as much as we've been into them, watching them throughout their
You
careers.
think Howard's like that? I think he's monetarily invested in this fucking city. He just built his own island in Florida, basically. That fuck.
I don't know. I've never gotten. What has Ryan Howard ever done that makes you feel that way?
No, that's Ruben's fault. Ruben gave him this ching, and then Ryan Howard gets it. What Ryan Howard did was not work hard enough after getting that contract. He got fatter, he got lazier, and he can't hit an outside fucking strike, basically.
So he stopped eating at Subway.
Yeah, that Subway commercial was bullshit. By the way, went out for work. My boss bought lunch, and we went to Subway, unfortunately, which I'm not condoning by any means. So I go, you know what? Let me try that Philly cheesesteak. God, it looks like it's got so much steak on it, and it's just overflowing with cheese. You know, you don't got whiz? Okay, fine, I'll suck it up. Just give me one of those Philly cheesesteak. Dude, they got those little paper plates out with the teeny, maybe 1 ounce of steak on each. Turned them over. Hey, you want this toasted? Dude, it was like all roll. First of all, it's bullshit, obviously. And that's what he's putting his name to. He don't care. He's getting a paycheck. He's just throwing a roll away, eating a steak. Fat pig.
Well, anyway, that was my 3. My number 3.
My number 2, as far as improvement / depth, is relief pitching. And relief pitching is probably the most underrated part of the sport of baseball, Major League Baseball. Relief pitching is so important. It's arguably more important than getting a right-handed bat for this team right now or anything like that. You look at Antonio Bastardo when we're fighting and crawling, and we finally show maybe some emotion against the Mets to try and win the next 14-inning game, and then the 11-inning game, and Bastardo comes in, throws 4 balls in a row, and throws his hands up and goes, what can I do?
That is my absolute number 1 pet peeve in all of baseball. When you have a relief pitcher.
Who's paid just to fucking...
A relief... Wait. Yes. A relief pitcher who is just... he's duct tape pretty much to get you to your closer.
Right.
Okay?
Good analogy.
All he has to do is come in and doesn't even necessarily have to throw strikes every pitch.
Just smart pitches.
Just exactly.
Yeah.
Smart pitches, they don't have to be out pitches, but they just have to be pitches that are not necessarily exactly what the guy at the plate is, prone to hitting out a yard or ripping down the line for a double or a triple. And you come in and you throw 4 straight balls. You walk a guy on 4
Out of the universe
straight
balls.
pitches.
Not even fucking close.
You sat on your goddamn ass for the last 2 hours doing nothing but chewing gum and
Shooting a shit,
nothing in the bullpen.
saying, "Ah-ra-ra-ra-ra."
Okay? And all you got to do is come in and,
You know who you're
as a
talking
relief
to.
pitcher, think about how much money he's getting paid for every single one of those pitches.
I've done the math. It's not fun.
Just a pitch.
It's not fun.
And you just throw 4 straight balls. I can't stand that.
Every pitch, every one of those balls that Antonio Bastardo threw and his one batter faced could pay a mortgage. That was 4 months' worth of mortgages for me, that motherfucker.
Our number 2 is the exact same. I also say relief pitching. I need to go back to the days where you had J.C. Romero coming in, shut down, 0.34 ERA with, 41 strikeouts and 10 walks, wherever the hell his numbers were that year.
All day Scott Air Day.
Coming in and or Ryan Matson, whoever it was going to end up being, getting to the Brad Lidge, lights out Lidge. It's
The bridge.
It's such a commodity to have guys like that in the bullpen who can always almost certainly guarantee you, yeah, they're going to give up the occasional run or two. More times than not, they're going to get you a 1-2-3 inning, or you're going to be certain that there are going to be no runs scored that inning.
And who cares what kind of laws they're breaking, All the drugs they're taking, JC.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
But it worked for that year. You had Scott Air who come in. You said Madsen. You just had the right pieces. A bullpen that's A+. Not only helps the bridge to Lidge that year, but it saves a bad start every now and again by Kyle Kendrick. He gives up 6 runs in 3 innings. And you have a bullpen you can trust to come in and do 3-3. You know what I mean?
And you have a bullpen that's not worn out because you're using
Right,
it
right.
every single night.
Exactly.
So they're healthy
and ready to go.
and they're ready to go. Their arms aren't tired. They're there.
So it's the most underrated thing in baseball, bar none. And some guys, first of all, it's the best job in sports to go sit down and eat sunflower seeds and talk to the broads that tits are hanging over the railing above your bullpen and all, and you're sitting there. Oh wait, I got a phone call. Let me go warm up. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and get this. I'm a lefty specialist. That's the best.
Yeah,
lefty specialist.
Guy comes in for one batter.
One batter.
One batter.
Hit the showers, pal. You did a great job. Here's your fucking $800 million.
Still tell everybody he's a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Yup. But total. Maybe since our number 2 is the same, it probably organically will go to our number 1.
Yeah.
Say it at the same time, 3, 2, 1.
Starting pitching.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I was kind of hoping it wasn't the same. It would have been funny. All right. Starting pitching. Now, my biggest reason, how I'm sitting there thinking I know all the fucking farm system and that I'm a Clearwater Threshers aficionado and J.P. Crawford and all this shit about Jimmy Rollins. Well, I don't know one goddamn name of a starting pitcher that's in any of our farm systems from Lehigh Valley through Reddit. Do you know anybody that's on the brink besides these Buchanan guys, these fucking Mathis, or what's his name? Not Matt. Martin. Ethan Martin. These are just fly-by-night bullshit guys, and it reminds me of the late 90s.
What do the Phillies have? What does every team have when they're being successful?
Yeah, it's a starting pitching staff.
Starting pitching.
A solid 1, 2, 3, and then a 4 and 5 that can clean up. We don't now you're talking about improvement and depth.
Absolutely.
In 2 years, Hamels is the only pitcher on our team.
I completely agree with you.
Maybe by the end of by the start of next year, Burnett will be here because no one's going to. Well, you know what? We might trade Burnett. If he keeps pitching well, he's only making what, like 8 or 12 million? Maybe like 16. I don't know.
Pitching is such a small window. Look at, well, I shouldn't say it's such a small window. I mean, look at the Braves. Look who they had, and that was just again
That's-
perfect timing for
That's
having
great
them guys.
scouting. That's great. That's great everything. That's how you
Yes.
do it,
and that's
man.
how everything comes together. And they had a period of absolute dominance in the NL East and Major League Baseball for 13, 12 years in a row. How many
They
divisions?
won. I believe it was 15 straight NL East division championships.
And you do that by
91 through 06, if I'm not mistaken.
91 through 06. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think it's 15 straight.
Again, but that's through stellar starting pitching. And the Phillies, unfortunately, are nowhere near that right now. They have Cole Hamels.
Remember how excited we were about the Four Aces? I mean,
Yes.
that's marketing again. That's this cheesesteak shit all over again. I got a fucking plaque that says Four Aces somewhere in this goddamn house. Like,
You know what's crazy too?
you get Oswald at the graveyard of his career.
And you're thinking to yourself after 08, the pitching after 08 got even better.
Right. For 2 years. after.
Who were the 5 pitchers in 08? Can you name them?
Yes, hold on. Well, maybe. Let me think.
Okay. Hamels.
Hamels, Blanton, Moyer, Kendrick, and can you believe that's? And I'm probably was I missing the ace going into that season?
No.
I'm not. Can you give me the initials?
BM.
BM. Brett Myers,
Brett
wife beater,
Myers.
mofo.
And
I'm a man. I'm 40.
you know how people remember him, what people remember him the most for during that whole run, correct?
Oh, yeah, what? Brett Myers?
Yes.
Yeah, for that walk
The walk
against CC,
against CC
and then Shane O'Mac.
hitting the grand slam.
Yep,
Oh my God.
yep. And then Brett Myers went and hit
That was-
the grand slam at Denny's right in his wife's
That
face.
I got out of every sporting event I've ever been or have ever actually seen or witnessed on television, the way that the fans got into that at bat with Brett Myers, and when he walked against CC Sabathia, I don't know if I've ever seen a crowd so into and just enraged with just adrenaline and fuck you, Sabathia, and we're gonna do this. It's so crazy to say, but I feel like that walk
Was when you said we're going to do this?
was literally the point in that series where we were gonna win no matter what.
Man.
We
That
got-
series or everything?
We got into the no, just the series.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I felt at
Right.
least. But it's like we got into Sabathia's head, obviously.
Oh, he
But
was fucked.
But it was like
Next at bat.
I felt like I could feel the wind fall out of the sails for the Rockies that year. Not the Rockies.
No, the Brewers.
The Brewers.
The Rockies we lost to the year before.
Yeah, the year
in
before.
07. That sucked.
Yeah,
you
got
know what?
swept.
The first game of the Rocky series. Do you know where I watched that?
Vegas? I don't know.
No, I wasn't there yet. That was 07. I believe I watched it with you. It was an afternoon at that fucking Callaway's on
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
on County Line, right?
Yeah.
Which is now called Pals or something. Have you
Gone,
seen it? Yeah.
Was that like Dollar Hamburger Day or
Dollar
something?
Yes. Oh my God, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And that fat slut kept getting us hamburgers because they were $1.
I don't remember
I just
that.
wanted to extend
There's a lot
that,
of fat
just in
sluts
case
out there,
people
though.
didn't know what dollar burger meant. But then the year after that was when we won it all, and I was in Vegas for that. That's fucking awesome.
Swing
Isn't
and
it?
a miss. Struck him out.
Yeah.
The
Oh, Miss Harry.
Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 world champions of baseball.
I'm so sorry I wasn't here for that. I mean, I watched it and I lived it and never forget where I was at for it. And you and Pitter were the first 2 calls I had at there. Oh, so great.
So something else has been on my mind lately.
Good deal.
Do you know what New York and LA, Chicago have in common?
New York, LA, and Chicago. Sports related, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Does it have to do with championships?
Not about cooking, that's for sure.
No. Does that have to do with championships?
No.
Does it have to do with, like, water? They're all around water. Because Chicago is on Lake Michigan.
No.
Oh, wait, you said it has to do with sports, right?
Yes, I did.
So they're not really the water skiing capitals of the world. I don't know. Can you give me some little inkling here?
All 3 of those cities have a sport that has more than one team in their city.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I should have fucking figured that one out.
So, I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Just
This is a good convo.
Off
I like where this
off
is
the
going.
cuff type
I've
of
thought
stuff.
about this before, by the way.
how do you even know what I'm going to say?
Because I know exactly where this is going. Everybody else listening knows where this is going.
Oh,
Shoot.
really? All
Yep.
5 of them?
No, I think we might be up to 7.
All right. Well, the 7 of you listening, I'm hoping you all know where this is going.
Share it on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube if you didn't already.
I have a lot of questions about what I'm going to say.
And Muscles Marinara, my man Pots and Pants. Tell your boys in the trench, my man digging holes and working his ass off.
First question, and let me get all my questions out before you decide to interject.
Look, I don't think I've ever interrupted you ever. Oh, did I just do that?
Wow. So, first,
It's snowing, baby! I'm a snowflake!
Philadelphia's a pretty large city, is it not?
Relatively.
Okay. Again, let me get the questions out.
Do I look like I'm ready to pounce here?
I don't know. Just drink your beer and shut up.
Mike Pouncey? Wow, what a total asshole. Look, just because I'm trying
What
to
the
hit
hell are
something.
you doing?
I don't
I'm just trying to, get my sitch.
Okay, first, would you like if any sport in Philadelphia had 2 teams? First question. That's my first question.
I'm sorry, and I said don't interrupt. Did you say, don't?
What a fuckface.
Did you said don't interrupt after all of it?
All of the questions.
Okay, I'll
That's
wait.
correct.
I'll wait.
Could be a crackhead.
Second, if there were 2 baseball teams, let's say,
I'm writing these down.
okay, and you felt more inclined to root for one than the other, would you then root for the other one because it's still your city? The stadium is still literally 12 miles away or 6 miles away
I
or
gotcha.
wherever you're living at. Third, do you believe it takes away from the overall bliss and unity of that city when a championship is won? Because in my opinion, when the Cubs, no, the Cubs is a bad example, but
It is because
the Cubs, the White Sox, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Jets, the Giants, when one of them win a championship, I feel like the whole city doesn't get to celebrate the way that they normally would if they all had one unified rooting interest in one team only.
okay. Well, I can't wait to get to that part. Oh, are you done? I'm sorry.
Okay?
Is there a fourth?
That's all I have right now.
That's long-winded. That's all I have right now. Is that? Can I go? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I'm fucking itching right now. As a matter-
Ready, go.
All right. So, do I wish that any of our sports had 2 teams? No, I don't. I just don't. There's.
Explanation.
Can I please? I like to talk while. Look, I'm actually taking the mic in my own
Shut your
hand.
mouth when you're talking to me.
I do not want any 2 teams because I grew up in what I grew up in. No one wants change when it comes to the sports alma maters, if you will. I'm always going to be a Phillies. I'm always going to be an Eagles, Sixers. Well, scratch that line. Flyers guy. Another team would be like the way, someone who's 17 years old and they're the only child, and all of a sudden their parents have a kid, and 17-year-old never even existed. You know what I mean? It's just not. It'd be a distraught ruination of everything that was built upon blood, sweat, and tears through your sports mantra through here. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you're saying if there was another, would I root for the other? Now, you said baseball, correct?
No. The question was,
I'm going to put my mic back.
should, let's say a second baseball team was created.
Yeah. That's it. Yep.
The Phillies,
Yeah, as they are now.
I'll give you 2 different situations. The Phillies are look, there's lots of baseball left this year, but they're done. Okay?
Done.
I absolutely.
They were done from, right.
All right? Yeah, they're 6.5 games back or whatever it is right now.
6, and then I think they lost tonight, so now 6.5. Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck
So
'em.
let's say the Phillies are going to be in a rebuilding phase.
Mhm.
Do you then start watching the other team more? Do you have more of a allegiance for them?
No. And I know this from personal experience from living with a Chicago guy who's a Cubs guy. He hates the White Sox more than anything else. Also, being friends in Vegas with a diehard Rangers fan and friends here, Maddie, they hate the Islanders. And being Mets fans, they fucking despise the Yankees more than they hate the Phillies. The dude I live with in Vegas, or knew in Vegas, diehard Mets fan, he hated the Yankees more than he hated the Phillies. Okay, so, but nevertheless, if there was another baseball team in Philly, now I'm going into semantics here, and it's the first thing I thought of. If there was another baseball team in Philly, that means they would be an American League team, and I despise the DH rule, and I hate American League baseball in general because of that, truly. But no, I mean, I grew up as a Philadelphia Phillies fan, a Flyers fan. Like, if a new team was introduced, no. Growing up in a different atmosphere with two teams, who knows which way you go. You'd probably, as a kid, just latch on to whoever was successful at the time.
Would you go to see that other team?
I'm talking on experience from what they no.
Okay.
And knowing me, how diehard I am, and how I'll break my hand over sports if I see something like an idiot, and I'll scream and yell and scare my dog when she's sleeping on the ground, and I see a goal that I don't like, and I feel bad after the fact. But I'm very, very emotional when it comes to this shit. Going to see another team, or going to see another team in this city that shares our city name, but is a totally different team, would probably be just like going to fucking root for the Cowboys or something, or even just giving them my money. So no, there's no way.
Okay.
Just from the vitriol that I hear from other people who actually share a team in their city.
Okay, third question.
Does it take from the overall bliss of the city and the overall? Well, here's the thing: Chicago, New York, maybe, because they're true fans. If they were all one and they only had one team, most definitely. And this is the thing: this is L.A. for you. Fucking California, the sun goes right through their skin and into their goddamn brains. Those fucking Californians and these LA King fans that I'm looking at on the screen right now are all queefs, and they're all fucking frauds. And they don't. Here's the thing: when the Lakers won their championships, Clippers fans went. You know what I mean? They went and they celebrated because they're front runners. They're frauds. That's what they do out there. Now in New York and Chicago, yes. I think if there was just one team there, and that won, it would be a crazy scene, But those cities are so goddamn big. That's why they're split up, I guess. But they want to call for another Toronto hockey team.
I heard.
And Hamilton, if they did get one, is right across the street.
Well, let me ask you this then. In the very rare instances where we get a quote-unquote Subway Series,
yep.
Like when the Mets played the Yankees.
Yep. 01, I want to say.
It was right around then.
Yeah, because it was after 9/11.
It's definitely neat, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. White Sox Cubs would be cool,
That's probably only going to happen once every 75 years.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like a neat spectacle. It's like historic.
Yeah, but it all happens in cities that I despise because we're a metropolitan city, and it's against other metropolitan cities.
Yes.
If Chicago had it, fine. I don't mind that. But L.A., New York, Boston. What three cities do I hate more in the United States?
I just think this is neat talk.
Besides Pittsburgh.
I agree, obviously 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want two sports teams for any sport.
And you always think about it growing up too. When
No.
you first start, just when you get into sports and you realize, holy shit, wait, there's two teams in that city, and you don't really grasp as a kid population and geographical boundaries and things like that. You're just like, why is there two? Like, there should be two teams in Philly, And then you get older and you go, dude, if there was another team in this city, fuck them.
Well, also because just like you said about population,
mm-hmm.
there's not enough people in the city. It
right.
would take away from both.
No, we're like
both
8th
markets.
right now. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd still get obviously the Eagles would still sell out every single game.
Oh, no matter what.
I mean, it's just going to happen.
Doesn't matter who is running the shit.
That's crazy fucking long.
Yep.
But I want to be able to celebrate with my entire city.
As a family.
and surrounding area
Yeah.
for the Cherry Hills and
Yeah.
the Malverns.
Even where we're at right now, we're in Warminster.
And the
you know?
Reddings.
And the
everywhere.
Levittowns.
This entire 100-mile radius, not 100-mile radius, that's bad.
800-mile radius.
25 to 50-mile radius of this population of the United States.
Right.
To root for this city.
That cares about it.
Yes.
Sure.
I don't want people. You can always use the excuse as far as if you do have two teams in your city growing up.
No, this is L.A. for you. I know where you're going. You know, this is L.A. This is what they would do. New York and Chicago wouldn't. Go for it. I know you're going there.
Pretend you are born 1991-ish area, okay?
In Zaire.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're growing up and you're starting to become, you know, a very big sports fan and knowledgeable of sports related issues.
Gotcha.
You're watching games with your father or your friends. You're going to events. Well, right around the time where you're starting to get to that, that's where the Lakers are winning and winning and winning and winning.
Yep.
So,
4 in a row. And
are
2.
you attracted to that because of the success of the Lakers?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you just start to, hey, I really like this Clippers team. I'm watching the Clippers more than I'm watching the Lakers.
No way.
There's a player on that team maybe I enjoy watching more than
So at that
players
point,
on the Lakers.
when the Lakers are winning their 4 in a row or whatever, you're 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? From what you're saying.
Roughly.
Dude, when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I was a big-ass Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls fan. You know what I mean? And I fucking loved them. When you're a kid, now this is why my father and my older brothers did a great job. When you're a kid, you're going to like who's good. It's just how it is, because it's just like school. You want to be part of the in crowd. You want to be, you know what I mean? You want to be accepted. You're not going to go like, hey, I love the fucking Milwaukee Brewers and Robert and Yount. You know what I mean? No one fucking went around saying that. They went around saying, you know, it's just how it is.
I'll tell you, no, I don't agree with you 100%. I always
Do you agree with me 92%? Like, why'd you say?
No. I always like, for instance, Brett Hull. Love that guy.
Okay.
Love that guy growing up. St. Louis Blue.
Well, at the time.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
at the time.
Yep.
St. Louis Blues didn't win shit.
Yeah, no, they still don't. They
I
choke.
I like-
Artista.
I liked guys like Grant Fuhr when he was a Blue.
Did you know he was
Okay.
black? I didn't know that.
So, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked St. Louis Blues. Don't know why,
Really?
but I just have.
Because of Brett Hall or Grant Fuhr or both?
I just enjoyed and Al McGinnis.
Oh, I gotta love Al McGinnis.
Loved Al McGinnis.
My brother loved the Calgary Flames when I was a kid. Here's
Yeah.
another thing. My brother Sean loved the Mets as a kid. Now, I was born in 82, so he was born in 76. You know, so 10 years, he was 10 years old when the Mets, you know, when, whatchamacallit happened. Buckner. And you know, and so he loved the Mets growing up. He loved Darryl Strawberry, loved Doc Gooden. And he's a left-handed hitter. He used to pick up his front leg when he was batting like Darryl Strawberry. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And he had a Mets chalk line jacket and all that. Kevin had a Bulls one, and that's just how it happens. That's just how it happened. When it depends on when you're a kid. As a father, I will be the same thing. You can like what you like as a kid, but once you hit that teenage, like once you hit 13, dude, it's done. You're an adult. Not an adult, but you're getting older. You're becoming a man. Now it's time for Philly-centric only, and you despise everything else. But as a kid, you like what's good. You know, when I was a kid, the Sixers had Ron Anderson, you know, who the fuck else? Oh, Clarence Weatherspoon, Sharon Wright, Sean Bradley. Like, what am I going to do? I was rooting for the Bulls, dude. I didn't give a fuck. We traded Barkley for Chris Perry, Anthony Lang, and
Matt
Jeff
Geiger?
Hornacek. Well, no, when Matt
or
Geiger
Matt
came,
Geiger?
that was yeah, of course I do. You know, Matt Geiger was the one that made sure that Allen Iverson wasn't traded to Detroit. He had a no trade clause, but that's what it was. I loved the Bulls as a kid. I'm trying to think, and I actually basketball was probably my number one as a kid, believe it or not.
I don't think that's entirely true. I can remember
How do
when
you know what I liked as a kid? Oh, you're talking about in general. Okay, gotcha.
me. I'm talking about me.
I don't know.
I didn't like the Colorado Avalanche when they were winning their cups or The Detroit Red Wings.
You know, it's weird that you say that.
Or the Devils.
That 3-year gap.
Okay.
To me, I was watching them as like diehard adult hockey fan. To you, that was kind of influential to your fandom. Is that what you're saying?
I can remember the Broncos winning with John Elway. I remember
Twice.
the Packers winning with Favre. And those weren't teams that I didn't like those teams because they were winning.
Yeah, but
know?
you were like 15 then, weren't you?
Huh?
You had to be like 15 then, right? No,
Yeah, but I'm still a kid growing up. I'm not just going to be like, oh, I like that team because they won a
Yeah,
championship.
to me it went off like a
I
switch.
hate guys like that.
To me, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to me it went off like a switch. You grow up, you enjoy who's good. And, thank God to me it wasn't a New York or an L.A. team or a Boston team in retrospect. My oldest brother loved the New York Mets, and it was as a kid. Now fuck them. And even my nephew, he goes, my dad used to like the Mets. I said, I know, buddy. That's a problem. And he loves himself some Phillies. So he learned from that mistake, too. So Sean was able to go ahead and parlay it into telling his own son, look, don't make the same mistakes your daddy made. So that's a home run by him.
Anyway, that was on my mind for a while. And I agree with everything you said about, no, I don't want two teams ever.
Yep.
But I was thinking about that.
I've always thought about it. I've always wondered.
And I would never want to grow up in a city that had two sports teams.
You know what's weird though? How could you do that now? Like we're used to it. There's never not been two teams, and except for the Rams and the Raiders, they all eventually left the NFL in L.A. But that's the only time where they really fucked with two teams. Ever since we've been around, there's always been the Rangers and the Islanders. There's always been the White Sox and the Cubs. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And there's always been the Clippers and the Lakers. So we don't know of any new double team, if you will, double city team. What do you think would be the next if there was one? Toronto for hockey?
Well, I would
because there's
think
big talks about that.
That's a good question. I would think that Philadelphia would be in the top 3.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, because right now our population's actually going down now.
Give me the 3.
That's a good question. I would say Toronto for sure. Absolutely 100% for sure for hockey reasons.
For hockey reasons.
That's
the only reason.
Yeah, but it's still a reason.
Okay.
Boston would probably be next. And then I would say, believe it or not, something like Houston or something.
No way.
Well,
no way.
Houston gets I don't know.
Absolutely not. Houston has problems just.
I'm just saying based on population.
Houston had a baseball or a football
team. Yeah, and they moved.
Okay, and they moved.
Yeah. What I mean, they
you think they're going to make 2 now?
They still. I didn't say football, did I?
Okay. Well, if they have a hard enough keeping a fan base for one team, they're definitely not going to do 2. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not talking in
Boston,
general. Yeah.
I would. It's weird because I hate Boston. I hate you fucking guys. I hate all of you. Bill Cannon, I hate you with your fucking Patriots. Okay. And you didn't even grow up there.
Cannon law this week, sorry.
You goddamn motherfucker. But I think it's weird because I correlate Boston kind of to us a little bit. I think that each one of those...
I do too, actually.
Well, each one of those cities is historic and has history with their teams, and I can't ever really... I can see us being in consideration for those, but I don't ever think that they'll break up the fan base.
Yeah, but
for
that's
any
the same
sports
thing
team
here,
whatsoever.
though.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, right,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I believe in, yes, Boston would be considered, just like Philadelphia would be considered.
The number one answer is Toronto for hockey, bar none. You know why? Because they're close to Buffalo right there. They're also close to Hamilton. They have expansion. Now that Quebec isn't around, Nordiques haven't been around, it's either going to be Quebec or Hamilton, or they're going to make another Toronto. They might. And they'll be able to do that because there are some people that are so bitter about Quebec leaving the Nordiques or living on the edge of Hamilton/Detroit that they want another team to root for besides Toronto, and they'll eat it up, dude. And they know what they're doing. It's just weird to hear that Hamilton might be an NHL team. I mean, Hamilton's like saying fucking Allentown's an NFL team. It's weird. But
you know what else I think might be up there?
Toronto's the next if it were ever to happen. It's Toronto for hockey, definitely.
You know what else I think would be up there would be Detroit for basketball.
Why? You think the Pistons get like crazy?
I think that Detroit is a very big
but you got to look
basketball city.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You got to look about population numero uno and then fandom, which you're right. But Detroit's got like what, like 1 million maybe?
I have no idea what the population of Detroit is, but I'm talking about
Well, Detroit's got basketball fans, but that's for a different reason. I mean, they can't
Detroit-
afford tickets.
Detroit is hockey town, okay?
No, it ain't.
Is what they label themselves at. But I believe basketball is very popular there. I think that there's
Why? How? The Pistons?
I'm just saying it's a basketball town. Okay?
No, it's not.
Okay, look it up. I'm telling you. It's definitely got...
Dude, they love their Lions more than anything else when the Lions are doing anything.
Oh, my God.
They are.
Okay. All right. We'll agree to disagree, but I'm telling you there's basketball people there, and I think that
That's what you want.
the surrounding area there, I really think they could put another stadium somewhere, possibly create another basketball
Yeah, but they
team.
play at the Palace at Auburn Hills. They don't even play in Detroit.
Just
I mean,
saying.
Auburn Hill. They're
Give me another sport then, in another city.
I can't. And right now, I think we need to break up the this just utter disgusting conversation with a nice joke.
Oh, really? Well, good for you because I have one.
Do you? I would
do.
really like a joke to end this. We're at $1:30. If you stuck with us this long, we really appreciate it.
But
And
we really don't expect you to have.
do me a favor. If you stuck with us this long, and Sean, Jerry, Joe, if you stuck with us this long and you are on Twitter or on Facebook, do me a favor and comment to our Facebook page or hit us up on Twitter and let us know, because that would be fucking awesome, just so we can get some volume and help us out a little bit.
You want to? How about we give them a keyword that they can comment onto Twitter or Facebook? We just have to give them a keyword. Wood?
Is wood the keyword?
No.
Is
Think
no
of
the keyword?
any word you would like to in the English language or the non-English language.
Apocalypse.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Please comment
Apocalypse.
to Twitter
There's no way to say that in a different
or Facebook
way.
or put it on the YouTube comments. Who cares?
Or just go ahead and give us another joke. But right now, we're going to end our show with a non-sports related, stupid motherfucking joke by his freshness, Dougie.
And why do ghosts?
I love these things. Sorry.
You're already laughing.
I know. It's good.
My work is done.
Yeah. It doesn't work because I can see your face and it's funny as shit.
Why do ghosts
Yeah.
hate going to proms?
Because they're going to get their virginity stolen.
Because they have no body to dance with.
All right. Hey, yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. I wish you would have used the other one. Can you do the tit one? Oh, I gave it away. On that note, we'll do the tit one next week. This is Unanswered Points once again. Live from the FreshWood Studios. We're back home. We're going to be home. Anybody has any ideas for us to giddy up at their place, let us know. Not their house. You know what? We can do a remote at a house. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Giddy up. All right. Once again, that is Fresh.
Holla.
I am Wood. And we will see you next week. Thanks for digging us once again.
Stay sexy.
You know it. Peace out.